I have some breaking news that you'll only get here on The Blaze. I'm assuming this is going to break later on tonight or tomorrow. It is not good news, should it work out, but we have it on extraordinarily good authority. I want to read this to you verbatim. We have a report. The State Department is currently in negotiations with the Egyptian government for the transfer of custody of the blind Sheikh Omar Abdel Rahman for humanitarian and health reasons. The negotiations are part of ongoing discussions with the Egyptian government to resolve the crisis. The blind Sheikh is currently serving a life sentence in the U.S. federal prison for his role in authorizing the 93 World Trade Center attacks that he planned the day of terror. Morsi, the new president of Egypt, has publicly stated that the release of the blind Sheikh is one of the top demands in Egypt's relations with the United States. And the threats against our embassy a week ago by Egyptian Islamic Jihad were to direct violence at the U.S. embassy and try to force the release of the blind Sheikh. We have asked for a comment from the State Department. We have now been referred to the Department of Justice. If this is true, and we believe it to be true, by the way, the other part of the story is the transfer won't happen until after the election. Expect stonewalling. The media continues to focus on Romneygate, Team Romney in disarray, gaffes again, really? But there is no political trouble for Obama as our embassies literally burn down to the ground. And facts come out that the administration may have ignored warnings. Where is the pressure after the Blaze breaking news that the State Department is considering talks or in talks to transfer the mastermind of the 1993 World Trade Center bombing from the U.S. to Egypt for humanitarian and health reasons? President Morsi of Egypt vowed that if he was elected, he would get the Sheikh released from America, calling it a matter of great importance, and said, if I may quote him in the Wall Street Journal, I see times, do we have it? I see times for Omar Abdul Rahman and detainees' pictures. It is my duty, and I will make all efforts to have them free, including Omar Abdel Rahman, that's the blind Sheikh. The Department of Justice wrote to the Blaze in response and said the assertion that the blind Sheikh may be transferred to Egypt is utter garbage. The blind Sheikh is not being transferred to Egypt, nor is he being released. He is serving a life sentence in federal prison. Suggestions that there are discussions to transfer or release him are absolute garbage and completely false. That's fantastic. That's great. If the DOJ had anything to do with foreign affairs. But I don't think that they're sitting across the table in Egypt working this deal. I mean, it would be something if the accusation was that the DOJ was doing it, but they're not. We told you it was the State Department. State Department hasn't responded. Isn't that neat? The DOJ, it's not their job to sit down and negotiate. When we get a statement from the State Department, I'll be halfway to believing that this isn't true. My staff said this morning exactly what I said last night. As I was handed that, I immediately called New York and said, what is the source on this? Who developed this story? I want to know, because this is quite an accusation. My staff asked me the same thing this morning. Okay, who's the source? Can't tell you the source, but I can tell you, some of the things that are going on. And none of us want to bring this news because, quite honestly, this makes us look insane. It's quite an accusation. But over the past year or so, we have been developing relationships with people in the State Department. And they have been giving us piece by piece information to see if we will actually tell you the truth. Because behind the scenes, they will say, you will never say that. You'll never say it. Because nobody ever will, because they're all cowards. And we have. I mean, we have a very high batting average. Some of it is because I believe that, we receive information. It is our calling to do what we do. But I also know that we also have well-placed sources. And in this particular case, we are working now with people who are risking their lives and their reputation to get the word out because they believe that we are a nation in deep, deep trouble. These are not people who necessarily agree with me. They just know we're on the wrong track.
A big story developing on recent events in the Middle East right now. A new intelligence report from the Department of Homeland Security revealing what may be a troubling ulterior motive behind the violent attack on the U.S. Embassy in Egypt. Welcome to America Live, everyone. I'm Megyn Kelly. Fox News obtained the report just hours ago, suggesting that the attack in Cairo last week may have been part of an effort to protest the imprisonment of this man, Sheikh Umar Abd al-Mahran, the so-called blind sheikh, convicted of conspiracy in the 1993 bombing of the World Trade Center. That bombing killed 6 people and injured more than 1,000 others. Fox News has now obtained a letter from top Republicans to the Attorney General Eric Holder and Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, raising concerns over the potential release of Sheikh Omar Abdel-Rahman. The State Department commented on this moments ago. Listen to how they parse the language.
Let me say as clearly as I can, there is no plan to release the blind sheikh. There is no plan. To my knowledge, we have not been approached about it recently by any senior Egyptians.